What do you get when a London-raised American South African and a New York-raised Moroccan
meet on the interwebs and become instant soul sisters? One of them, an Ayurvedic practitioner and transformation coach, and the other, a Conspire breathwork coach and Reiki master teacher. Both obsessed with wellness, family, entrepreneurship, relationships, and the magic of human expansion and growth. You get a whole convo.
We truly believe that with an open heart, focused mind, and energy receptive to the possibilities, your wellness journey can guide you to a life that exceeds your wildest dreams.
Welcome to our podcast. We're Ella and Ymane, and we are so happy you're here. Come vibe with us as we explore the wholeness of being through the lens of wellness.
Welcome to a whole convo with Ella and Ymane. How is it season 2 already?
What is even going on with time? Because I can't believe it either. Tomorrow's our final episode of the season 1 of a whole convo that we recorded like two monsters, 15 episodes.
Just like that.
And here we are, season 2. So exciting.
There are some fantastic conversations to be had this season. And it'd be nice for us to kick off to just have a little catch up, because people might not realize that even though the episodes were over a period of 15 weeks, they were recorded in a much shorter amount of time. So much has happened since that first season was put together. What have you been up to, Ymane?
Oh my God, 100%. I think that's another reason why it feels so surreal that we're already at this point, is because we recorded our first season in such a way to actually have the episodes ready and done with before I left to the farm.
Yes.
Because I went to Oregon for 10 weeks. For those of you who've been kind of following, the podcast or even my journey on Mind, Body, Veda, I had a 10-week-long internship at the Banyan Botanicals farm in Williams, Oregon. And I just have returned home literally a week and a half ago. So I got to tell you, Ella, it feels like I'm still kind of between two worlds. Like my body feels very aware and grounded. I would say that I'm back home. I'm loving being back home, and not to like do a whole spoiler alert of my experience there, but my experience there has shown me how good I have it in my life. Like,
Really?
yes.
I can't wait to hear more about that.
To think that I would come back from living on a farm for 10 weeks and actually be more grateful for living in New York City than I left, which is wild to me. I did not expect that, Ella, and I can't wait to dive deeper into that. My body is very much aware of that. Wow, I'm back and this is amazing. But I think my mind is still between those two worlds. Like my state of mind, my emotions are like, whoa, what just happened? What did I just do? What went on, and where am I now mentally, and what do I want to do next? There's just so many, I guess, thoughts and emotions that are still kind of overlapping those two very different worlds. And so that's what I mean by I'm kind of still feeling like the transition of that. But yeah, we can definitely dive deeper into that. But I want to know what you've been up to as well these 10 weeks.
It is mind-blowing how quickly the time can go and how much life can change in that 10 weeks. Just thinking about it, because like we said, uploading the final podcast episode of season 1, it feels like a different world. And then here we are. It's almost like I've been in the bubble with you, but in my own bubble over here. So it is great to be here, great to catch up. I've been doing womb Reiki.
What?
Mind blowing. A course in womb Reiki.
Womb?
Absolutely. Womb. As in a uterus. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, I've been studying womb Reiki, and it's
I have
been
chills right now
phenomenal.
on my right arm.
Seriously. And doing a lot more things involving and around Reiki. So building up that part of my practice, both personally and to bring it into my business a little bit more. So I'm excited about what that looks like going forward. That's to be continued. So that's part of stuff that's been going on. There's been so many things going on with my family that are just crazy. And I bring that in to say, when you are a person who's juggling the different aspects of being a person, a woman, an individual, being a daughter and caring, and being a mum. So that's been a lot of stuff going on. And I had vertigo last week, which
You
I
did.
mentioned to you.
Oh my God.
Hellish,
I'm so
hellish. That
sorry.
is what I want to say. Hellish. So I feel so grateful to be here, being able to turn my head, being
I
able
was
to
just
do all
gonna
the
say, you're
things.
glowing. You look amazing, and I'm so happy, so grateful that you're doing better.
Girl, that's all girl. And anyone who's had vertigo, my heart goes out to you because it is a unique type of hell.
Mm.
So I'm sending all the vibes, sending all the love if you have experienced it. And it's wild to me actually, when I shared that I had it on my social media, so many people commented about their
Oh my
experiences. So
God, I
this
have to
is,
catch up on your social media. Wow, you posted about it.
I felt a lot of helplessness. And then so it's just an invitation to sit. I mean, there's benefits that come from that, and to rest. Again, benefits that come from that. And what is has informed me so much is how many people are experiencing this and may not be talking about it. It's something that they're experiencing or know someone who goes through it. And it's, I guess it's more widespread than I appreciated before I went through it.
Mm.
So let's put that to the side because we're here now. We're
Lord,
loving the fact that I can see you,
here.
look at you, and be okay.
Love
It's
it.
I'm so so grateful, and I am so happy that we get to do this again for another season.
I'm so happy. This is so exciting.
I would like to kick off this by give a bit more of a background. So, how did you get involved in this internship? Because I know that it's connected to Ayurveda and Ayurvedic farming, but what was it that attracted you to go and seek this out?
I did go to grad school and got my master's in Ayurveda and integrative medicine. And literally, just weeks into it, it was such an enthralling experience, such a beautiful, deepening experience that I knew I made the right decision very quickly on when I started my studies in grad school. And so, being the one line that I am, we always joke about that. For those of you who know a little bit about that or human design, I am a one line profile, I'm a 1-3. My need and desire and joy that comes from researching, like, obviously got triggered even more and fired up. And so I went on a deep dive very early on in my grad school studies to see what else is out there that was more hands-on. Because
Mm.
there's a beauty and a importance of the textbook studying and the school studying and the information studying, right? Of course, there is a validity in that and a beauty in that, but I wanted an immersive experience in addition to what I was learning. So I did a little bit of research as I do, and very quickly found that there was actually a company that I already really loved and respected and knew that has Ayurvedic products. It's called Banyan Botanicals. It's a product company. Of course, they have other things like the internship and, of course, articles and information and education, but they're an Ayurvedic line. They're a line of Ayurvedic products. So they have high quality, all organic Ayurvedic products.
Mm.
So, powders, teas, capsules, pills, herbal formulations, beautiful company, amazing company. And when I saw that they actually had a farm internship, I was like, wait, the company that I literally buy my herbal pills and products from that I already love has a farm in Oregon and has an internship? I was sold. I was immediately like, I have to do this. And so when I looked into it, it was 10 weeks and I was like, whoa, there's no way I can take 10 weeks off in my life right now. Obviously, I was in school and then also working part-time. So I would say that was kind of the limiting factor in the beginning is the time frame, because it's not the type of program that can give you the option. Do you want to come for 3 weeks? Do you want to come for 4? Do you want
Mm.
to do one or all 10? It's like you're committing to 10. You're going to be here for 10 weeks. You're going to live on the farm and on the property for 10 weeks. And so obviously that was a factor. And so a year would go by. I was in grad school for 3 years. I always thought about it. I always looked into it. One year I looked into it, there was a wait list, and I'm like, ah, wow. Just kind of the juices flowing. And then finally, a few months ago, thankfully, I have the flexibility and availability in my life right now with everything that's going on with my business and practice and everything else that I do, that it would allow me, of course, with the support of my family, to go away for 10 and do it.
Mm.
So that's kind of a long way of saying I've been wanting to do it forever. I've been wanting for several years until I was actually able to do it. And here we are now. I'm sitting here back home. I did it. I've done it. It's completed. And I just can't tell you, Ella, how unique, how deepening, how expansive, how challenging, how like really rough sometimes, rough sometimes, unexpected. And it all came to this like full circle moment of who am I? Like what is life? What are people? What is family? What is soil? Like what is human interaction? What are relationships? What's parenting? Oh my God, I get chills as I'm saying it, but this was like the deepest embodiment of like life. It was like the microcosm of the macrocosm of what living is. So,
I love it, especially because of the gestation, no, germination. Gestation is the baby, but germination period you had to go to from first seeing it to having the space in your life. There's something beautiful about the patience that was required, about the timing, about the circumstances that had to be created in order to make it possible.
oh my God, 100%. I love that you said that and even brought that point to light, because I will tell you, Ella, that's another aspect that is, I think, often forgotten when we
Mm,
as individuals even want to create something in our life, right? We see something, we desire it, our soul, is pulled towards it, our spirit is speaking to us that this is something in alignment for us to do. But there's a process
mm,
getting to that point. There's a curation, there's a cultivation, if you will. Hashtag farm life, there's a cultivation process that
mm.
has to happen that we're so unaware of. And we just see it as point A, point B. I want this, I want that. I got to do
Yeah.
this. And it's like that process, I think, taught me the importance of divine timing. Because I'm
Mm,
telling you, there's no way that I could have had the experience that I had, learned
mm.
the lessons that I did, met the people that I did, if it weren't for it being 3 years after I even first saw it.
Yeah.
What if I was the person that was like, oh, well, there's no way. 10 weeks, there's no way. If I can't do it now, it's not going to happen. My spirit always felt like this is something I'm going to do in my life at some point, and it is going to happen when it's supposed to happen. But even more than that, this is kind of something that I always wanted to do since I was a young kid and never knew that it would come in this kind of package. So, what I mean by
Wow.
that, ever since I was young, I was connected to nature in a very unique way. But being a city girl through and through, I never really, even though I enjoyed nature and I love going for my nature walks and daily walks in the park, and I love the greenery, and I love going away and traveling and seeing the world from a very nature like deepening aspect. I never really thought about trees the way I do now. Like
I never.
I never thought about plants the way, like, are you kidding me? Soil? What? Soil? Vegetable, like the way, like harvesting season, like
Mm,
getting a fruit in your hand that you literally just touched from a tree, you pulled it out, you picked it, it's sitting in your hand and it's going in your body. What? Never did I ever think about that. No matter how much I loved nature, no matter how much I wanted that in my life, but I never thought about it the way I do now. So even that, it's like you think you know, but you freaking don't know.
it's fascinating hearing you say that because I am taken to my dad. My dad comes to mind when you say all of those things. And again, this is something I hadn't realized I've internalized. It's been bred into me. But we were always outside. He was always showing me about this soil here and that, this. And it's like, I don't think about it because I guess I'm not using it in my life at the moment, but it's in there. It's in there. So I love that you have made that mental connection and desire into a materialized experience. Now, 10 weeks, you mentioned about the 10 weeks. Do you, having gone through that 10 weeks, understand why it was that period of time versus, oh, I'll pop in for the 3 weeks and then I'll pop out?
I will say that my natural instinct right at this second is to say it was too long.
Okay, I was gonna say it's still hurting.
Only because, how should I put this in the most
No, just put it. I just say it.
the communal living aspect to it is something that, so for example, if it was a 10-week situation in which it was just me and you, for example, hubby, Tanj, Sonia, my sister, my parents, if it was 10 weeks, I'd be like, no, it's too short. Please don't kick us out. Please keep us here. But communal living with seven other strangers that you did not choose yourself, okay? It added an aspect to it. Now, I want to say this in the same breath. I wouldn't have changed it because I wouldn't have learned the lessons that I
Mm,
learned as the woman I am at this very moment. So while
mm,
there were so many challenging moments, and while at times it felt like I was in emotional warfare, okay, girl, it is the reality. And that's why I said it was such a microcosm of the macrocosm of humanity and living and being. It was such a deep layer of relations and humans and behaviors and how things that we don't even think about actually make the biggest difference. And I'll give you a
mm.
quick example. Where I am right now in my life as a 39-year-old woman, gonna turn 40 in less than 2 months, I have curated and designed very purposefully, very intentionally, and very consciously a life in which only allows certain people and certain energies to be around that aura, to be around that world that I have curated. And I worked many, many years and I have healed many, many things. And still currently, because we always talk about healing is a not a transactional thing. It's a infinite, ever unfolding process, right? So I have done so much work that sometimes I sit back and I'm like, yeah, no. That's a no for me. Hard pass on that. You can you can laugh. I see you all. You're like chuckling behind your microphone very lightly, and your face right now is cracking me up because I can feel that you know what I'm talking about.
I do, and that's why I feel like 10 weeks is so perfect. We both know the things that we resist are the things we need the most.
Totally. And it's like so wild because I had roommates in college and I had a roommate when I was a flight attendant. So it's not like I never experienced sharing space, but there were moments where you just feel like I already have enough to handle, to hold. Our threshold as a being, right, has certain parameters and has certain kind of like extensions, how far we can go, how deep we can go. And because the farm labor is so intensive and so real, Ella,
Mm,
some of the other aspects of the program kind of took us out mentally.
mm,
It kind
mm.
of depleted us in a way that we didn't think was possible.
Yeah.
You know what
And
I
I
mean?
but that to me is where breakthroughs happen because we are so under the cosh. we're so exhausted, we can't put in the usual protections or the usual deflections, the usual distractions, just they're not available. And when you talk about having shared space before, it's different when we are living our lives and we've got somewhere else to be and we can pop off here, but you're just here. There's
Yeah.
nowhere to go. There's nowhere to escape to. You are a captive audience. So I feel you on every level, and I'm chuckling because I love that this pushed you, maybe not so willingly in certain areas, because that breaks you open in such a
Yes.
beautiful, pure. Again, we're going to the idea of this little seed. It has to go through the pain of breaking open to bring its first shoots, and that's not a comfortable process. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. It's the idea of pushing through. I just love
Yes.
this for you. So I
A
was just going to
hundred,
giggle.
100%, Ella. And when I tell you the amount of breakthroughs that I have had on that land, on that soil, in that house, it is absolutely mind blowing. And I'll
Mhm.
save those, talks and lessons for another day because they are pretty deep and I do want to share them and I do want to talk about them and I plan to and I'm excited to. But just to kind of give this little convo that we started, a whole convo that we started around this little catch up in my farm experience, a little completion is that I am so happy that I have become the person that is willing, because you said
Mm,
something about willingly. I actually willing to go through the discomfort, willing to go through the pain in order to see something. It's almost
mm,
like imagine if someone said, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you this incredible secret that will magnify your life, that will expand your life, that will change your life. But the only way to see it, the only way to know it, the only way to really understand this secret is you got to go through some shit. Yep. You got to go through some really and the thing is, I feel like even the word challenging does not do it justice. You get to a point where you start having this external, internal relationship with yourself that feels very out of body experience, if that makes sense. It just feels like wiser discussions. It
mm,
feels like more contemplative. It
mm,
feels more curious, more there's more wonder. There's more
mm,
wonder and there's more beauty in the kind of conversations you begin to have with yourself, even when you're speaking of things that are, let's say, quote unquote, disempowering or negative or toxic. It's almost like this beauty that you start having about yourself and thought process that is just like, I'm not budging. I'm not budging and I'm not negotiating my desires and my joys in life and my expectations because I have standards and I have worked really hard in my life to
mm.
get to these standards and too many people have proved me right that these standards are valid and I deserve them for me to go back to
Love
it.
that.
Yeah.
I love that for you, girl. And it is one of my favorite aspects of the only way out is through. That's
Mm.
one of my favorite things. Now, as we wrap this up, is that your highlight of the farm experience, or is there something else that we can say this is the thing at this moment in time? Because I appreciate it might change as things start to settle and integrate. Is that your highlight, or is there something else?
No, that's not the highlight. Yeah. There's other things and I wrote some I journaled a lot. I wrote a lot while I was out there, Ella, and it was really incredible. I think one of the most self-care things that I could have done for myself through that 10-week program is really embracing the power of being off the grid for a bit.
Mm.
The minute we stepped out the house, which is on the farm, with the soil, with the plants, with the work, with each other, we were off the grid,
You
literally.
were in it.
We were in it. We were in it. I really am happy that I really took advantage of that reality because even though I did, of course, speak to my parents here and there on WhatsApp, from time to time, my husband, even you a couple of times with, our little catch-ups and just talking about the podcast episodes and what's rolling out. I really simmered in that being off the grid
Mm,
situation, and it allowed me to do more contemplation, more writing, and more journaling. And I just learned a lot about myself in the silence. I learned a lot about myself in the silence. I learned a lot about the things that I actually truly value in
mm,
life I think before the farm, I had like a little taste of it and I
mm,
kind of had an idea and knew what's important to me and what I valued. But right now, they are so deep in me, they feel more important than ever.
mm,
It's like their value increase. Like the market is a certain way or things change in the environment. So speaking about environment, I think that's the highlight. Like one thing I thought going into this is, oh, I'm gonna be on a farm. Of course I'm gonna be so healthy. So like, are you kidding me? This is gonna be like the easiest weight loss. This is good. You know what I mean? Like going in, I'm like, what?
I got this.
I got this. I was stress eating for 3 weeks. I'm like, whoa, I did not realize. I'm not laughing.
Oh my God.
And you know what
Sorry.
the wild thing is? It wasn't just me,
Mm,
which,
absolutely.
I call them big fat emotions. That process of the
Mm,
human nature, of human behavior with a trigger or a thing or a pattern or a behavior that we have cultivated and have done for such a while, something happens, something shifts, and our body immediately wants to save us. Let me save you. Let me save you. This your nervous system, right? So it's like I was so surprised at how fast it happened.
I think it's brilliant because in that sentence it encapsulates what we think and reality.
Yes, exactly, Ella. What we think in reality. And I'm telling you, when I had so many breakthroughs, like my mind was exploding like every other day. And I found some incredible sisters. When I tell you, because that's the beauty about having challenge. Sometimes you meet your people through there. You're like, wait a minute. You're going through what I'm going through. You're seeing what I'm seeing. You're feeling what I'm feeling. So I'm not quote unquote crazy. I'm not making this up in my head. Oh, you are my people. Oh, you're my tribe. And so we locked in, girl, me and these three other incredible women who actually were going through similar things with similar people. Shocker. We're just like, oh, all that to say that I've had conversations with some of the women that I developed these incredible bonds and sisterhood with that blew our minds. We started talking about things like how our cells in our body function when you're put in an environment where it is actually not for you. It's like I think there's like a saying like, well, if you put like a fish in something, or if you expect a goldfish to perform a certain way, and then you know what I mean? Like, you know how they talk about like
No, I've not heard that saying. I want you to dig it out for me because I don't know what you're talking about. A fish, and if you put like a goldfish, I love it.
here it is. I found the quote. Everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it is stupid.
Yeah,
That's
that I have heard.
that one is about like how environment and context matter, and you thrive when you're in conditions that match your nature.
Mm.
So
That's
when
so
I
interesting as well from the Ayurveda perspective,
yeah,
because you talk about how the environment is so tailored and specific to your body chemistry, your energy makeup, your
exactly.
dosha.
And I know we have an episode coming in the future about the whole mind environment connection and the truth about that. So I can't wait to dive deeper into that. But all that to say that this farm experience actually validated the truth of a spirit, a being, knowing that they are meant to be in a very certain environment. And we think about environment, oh, it's nature, it's a farm, you're good. But it also requires the people, the support, the community, the collective being in alignment with your nature. So, girl, that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to keep it there. I can't wait to dive deeper into that, but that's my
more
little
coming
catch.
very soon. Ymane, it's been great to hear this intro segment of your farm life experience. Very many whole convos to flow from this. Looking forward to hearing more. So glad we're back together. So glad it's season 2.
I am so happy. I feel like season 2, girl, is going to be bolder, deeper, and of course, funnier.
Let's hope I'm not laughing at you all the time.
You can laugh. Look, I invite laughter always and forever. You know that.
It's been great to be here for our first episode of season 2.
Season 2, a whole convo. Thank you so much for everyone who's tuning in, whether on the YouTube or our podcast platforms. We love you and we can't wait to talk to you next time.
Until next time.
That is a wrap on this week's Convo. We had a blast talking to you.
Thank you for sharing your time, hearts, and minds with us.
We hope this episode left you thinking, feeling, and maybe even breathing a little deeper. If it moved something in you, please share it, text it to a friend, or just sit with it.
Remember, the power of change can start with the simplest convo.
And if you have any comments or thoughts you'd like to share with us, please feel free to do so. We'd love to connect with you. Don't forget to subscribe to our show so you never miss a moment of the magic. And if you're curious about any of our services and offerings, check out the show notes for all the links and goodies. We're so grateful you're on this journey with us. Until next time,
stay rooted, stay whole.